Jill coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Usually I do Farmstead Kitchen. Today I was going to show you a little bit of my kitchen for the calves. There's some questions about keeping the calves healthy during bad weather or just taking calves that were a little compromised and making them healthy again. So I just thought I'd show you some of my tools that I've been using. One of the main and biggest things for any animal, and right now I'm using it for all the calves, is apple cider vinegar. Bragg's is a good one. One of the things about cider vinegar, you can see all the floaties in the bottom and that little disc looking thing, that's called a mother. And what that is all of the active bacteria in the vinegar are getting together, having a party, and supering up the vinegar. That's what makes it alive and makes it really health-giving. It makes all of the minerals that are in the cider super available to you and your animals. It's great for everybody. So what I've been doing with this is putting some of it in their water. I don't measure things a whole lot. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I don't cook by measuring. But a little bit of cider vinegar. It's good for everybody. It's good for almost everything. So that's one of the biggest go-tos for any animal or anything that's struggling a little bit, including you in the winter. Cider vinegar. Because the two calves that we're going to be giving all this to are really compromised in their lungs, I make a tea for them. So I put that in their water. It's made out of senega root. And that looks like that. It's known sort of as a super herb for lungs. I use a little bit of white willow bark. This is the organic active ingredient. Ooh, it's got a couple coffee beans in there. In aspirin. So it's a little bit of pain reliever, anti-inflammatory. I put a little of that in. A little bit of licorice. It makes it sweeter, and licorice has a lubricating effect. So it helps get a little bit of more mucus. It helps their digestion a whole lot because it helps lubricate that digestive system. And anything to help the digestion, you know, the guts are the seat of health. It can also help soothe that lung tissue because of its mucilaginous properties. So, licorice is a good one. And mind you, you could use a whole lot. There's a lot of herbs for all of these things, for anti-inflammatory and lungs. These are just the ones that I happen to have in the jar today. This is, and I suddenly drew a blank, it's not echinacea. We're back. This one that I couldn't remember momentarily is chamomile. Chamomile is very soothing, very relaxing. So all of those lung tissues that are irritated and inflamed, chamomile goes a long ways to helping just soothe those so that it enables the body to do what it needs to do. So I put all of those in the jar, put some boiling water on it overnight. This is a quart size, and I'm going to give these guys 1/4 of it. So that's about a cup in their bucket of water. And I'll tell you what, they slurp this right up. They think it's marvelous. So that's what I put in their water: apple cider vinegar, tea, and like I said, you can put any number of herbs in there. Do what suits you fancy and what it seems like your animals are good for. The senega is the really good lung one. We've used that for coughs that we've had recently. It is a new one that I've discovered, and I'm pretty amazed with it. Feed-wise, what I'm doing for restoration in these calves, we have just a regular sweet feed, and that's just kind of generic, whatever. We add kelp. Kelp has about a bazillion trace minerals and all sorts of nutrients in it, and they're super bioavailable. So that is just a great system builder. It gives them all the building blocks they need to do what they need to do. This is biochar, otherwise known as activated charcoal, agrichar. It is marvelous stuff. Just like you'd use activated charcoal, we're putting the biochar through them. And that seems to have really kind of stabilized them and normalized them. They're doing good. For these calves, I just give them a little bit like that every day. They don't need a whole lot. Plus, in their grain, every now and then, I add the spiced honey. This is just honey with turmeric, which is anti-inflammatory. Very, very anti-inflammatory. Ginger, which is very soothing to the whole digestive system, also warms it up and wakes it up a little bit. Same with the cinnamon and the cloves in it. And that I mix in. If they're really sick and they're coughing, I put it directly in their mouth so they get the whole spoonful, and they kind of like it. But that's also sort of a pain. So and you have to catch them and chase them down because they put up token resistance no matter what. So I just mix the honey in to their grain. And it's easy on everybody. I've been doing this for a while. The tea, the senega, I give them a quart of it and then they get a couple days off. So they get about 4 days on and a few days off, and then 4 days on again. And when it gets to the bottom, I just dump all the leftover herbs in with their grain. It's all good for them. Just the honey off. Oh, stop it. These things basically just help to boost their immune system, give their bodies the basic building blocks that it needs for them to heal, to regenerate that lung tissue. And then we'll see what happens when summer comes. And the humidity that is the major challenge for all lung-injured calves. And anybody with emphysema or even asthma knows that hot, humid weather is just about the worst. You need cold, cool weather. So we'll see what happens. But right now, while they're not being challenged, we're going to see what this does for their systems, and keep you posted on that. I guarantee they won't complain. When it's cold, you really want to make sure they get all the water they want. These two calves alone drink almost 10 gallons of water a day. You can see she was pretty thirsty. They really don't process the grain and the things that they eat very well without the water. So that's it. That's what we're doing for the calves. It's good for cats too. And remember, anyone can farm.